I show up there at like 8:30 in the morning in full uniform. And I'm like, hey, you got one of my guys in the lockup or what? Hello everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode live from the Lair. Alright, so these stories are pretty much what took place between 2010 and 2013 at 414 Civil Affairs Battalion, Southfield, Michigan. Alright, now on this particular story involves me. I had been doing the whole round and round with Lieutenant Colonel Dina. I was coming up on the end of my first enlistment in the AGR program, and I needed to re-enlist to stay in the AGR program, and she was not willing to sign my packet, so I had to send everything up to the general above her to basically sign and get everything squared away. So when I finally did do my re-enlistment packet, it was signed off by I believe it was a brigade commander, or no, it was higher than that. I believe it was General Burley himself. And it came back down the chain. I got my control number, and then I was allowed to take that control number to the re-enlistment NCO and, do the whole fucking thing. Now, they wouldn't let me do indefinite. That's what I wanted to do. They only allowed me to do 6 years, which was the max. That's exactly what I did. I extended it 2 more years beyond that, but that didn't happen until I was in New York State with the 403rd CA. And I remember, Major Z is the one that actually was the officer that swore me in. And we climbed up on the roof of the reserve center and did my re-enlistment ceremony up there. And I thought that was pretty squared away. Though I have attended several re-enlistment ceremonies at some of the titty shake it clubs on 8 Mile in Detroit. I wanted to have mine there, but some people objected and got upset, so I just said fuck it. We did my re-enlistment on the roof. Everything seemed to work out just fine. I believe we did I think I did 4 re-enlistment ceremonies in strip clubs while I was there. I thought that was pretty good. We did a bunch out in Grayling, in 40 Indian Town Gap, and a couple other places in regards, to the re-enlistment ceremony. Well, we actually did one standing in water in a lake, which I thought was pretty cool. I've seen even crazier ones than that, guys re-enlisting in the back of a C-130 just before they jump. It is what it is. You generally don't have to have a re-enlistment ceremony, in an office, so just so you guys know that sometimes things get a little heated and get a little colorful. All right, now here's another one. Now I had to do this, I want to say 4 different times while I was at the 414, where I actually got the call, hey, come get me, I'm in jail. So for whatever reason, and instead of that one phone call going to a family member or to God knows who, they decide to pick up the phone when the cops give it to them, and they call my cell phone number and say, hey, Sergeant Popp, I'm in jail, help me. Alright, so maybe they did this because I knew I just wasn't going to let them sit there and rot, and I wasn't going to really flaunt it, around the chain of command unless it was fucking something really crazy stupid. Bar fighting or, or other weird shit like that. I normally just look the other way. Now, from my vast amount of experience I have in this particular thing, because you know, throughout my 30 years in the military, I have bailed quite a few people out of jail. I usually keep anywhere between $2,000 and $4,000 worth of cash just for bail money, because that's just the way it goes. Now, typically, if I have to bail somebody out, I believe, say it's like $500. Usually, they want like $2,000. And like 400 of it is forfeit you get the rest of it back when the guy shows up to court, except for $400, which is usually chewed up in court fees and confinement costs and other bullshit. So, you know, the particular soldier really only owes me $400, which they've always paid me back, because I'll kick a motherfucker's ass for that shit if they don't pay me back. Well, on this particular instance, it was I wouldn't say it was a bar fight, because it didn't take place in a bar, but it took place in the parking lot outside said bar. Individual, I was outnumbered 3-1, and he took quite an ass whipping, and you know, dished out quite well. I was proud of him. But the cops rolled up, and one of the 3 that attacked him got caught, and he got caught, and in jail they went. So, you know, I get the call, I go out there, and I went in there and I talked to him, and his bail was like $1,800. And I said, this is ridiculous. He's a soldier. I'm in his chain of command. Let me talk to the prosecutor or something. And I went over and talked to the prosecutor, and his bail went from $1,800 to like $400. And not only did he didn't have to wait till the next day to get out of fucking jail. They let me have him like literally 40 minutes later. So I, got his ass out of jail, fucking got all his fucking paperwork squared away, and dropped him off at home. And I actually went to his court dates. I think he had 4 or 5 of them, and it went from assault and battery, and then once and this is ridiculous, because you figure the police would get the footage from the bar, because they have a security camera which covers the back parking lot. And it doesn't shoot down like around the door. It actually is up a few degrees, so you can see the door, the area in front of the door, and then you can see about 150 meters into the parking lot. Now, I actually had to go there, talk to the owner, and get a DVD of the fucking footage, go to the court fucking hearing, give it to his attorney, who basically, it went from assault and battery, and then to self-defense, and then when they saw that it was 3-on-1, it fucking, once I got that footage, it pretty much shot the whole case in the foot, because 3 grown men attacking one dude, in all practical purposes, you're authorized to use lethal force. I mean, I'd pull out my knife and be carving people up. I wouldn't even fuck around. But he fought 3 guys fairly well. Got knocked down 2 or 3 times, but he got the fuck back up, kept swinging, and guess what? They ran out of gas before he did, and he was actually, putting the scunion down on him pretty bad when the cops rolled up there, and the other guys ran off. And there's only, I think that particular city, they didn't have 2 cops in the car, they only had 1. So 1 cop in the car, all he's going to do is radio it in, and those other 2 guys were in the wind. They didn't catch them. But anyway, I believe he wound up pleading guilty to disturbing the peace, which was like $150 fine. And I got my money back from the deal, and you don't really have to report disturbing the peace to your chain of command, because it's not really that big of a deal. So that's pretty much how that one went down. I went and bailed out one of my fellow sergeants for drinking and driving. I don't know. I mean, people come back from Iraq. I'm guilty of this myself. Carry a lot of demons. A lot of those demons never go away, and so this particular soldier had toasted out the night with 4 fingers full of Jack, jumped in his car, got pulled over. I get called, I think after they in-processed him and everything, it was like 7 in the morning. And they said they were going to let him go like at 6 o'clock that night. Well, yeah, I find out what the deal is. I show up there at like 8:30 in the morning in full uniform. And I'm like, hey, you got one of my guys in the lockup or what? And they're like, well, who's your guy? I'm not going to say his name here, but I tell him his name. And I'm like, listen, he's my guy. I understand, you know, he screwed up. I got it. He's going to make his court hearings. This, you know, he's in the United States Army. His chain of command knows about it now. He's cooked and booked. You know, keeping him in jail and fucking with him, you know, until 6 o'clock tonight is just stupid. So, you know, I basically took possession of him at 10:30 in the morning and rolled him to his house, got him in uniform, and went to work. And so did he. Now, I didn't say anything about it directly because I didn't know how it was going to play out. I didn't want my name in the whole fucking deal, and you know, I'm not going to roll over on a fellow NCO over some bullshit like that. And you know, lo and behold, he got one of those snazzy, you know, pull the rabbit out of the hat defense attorneys, and the whole thing got like reduced down to something very minor, which I don't even think it was even impaired driving. I don't even know if it was reckless. I don't remember what it was, but it was pretty timid. You know, they went very easy on him, and you know, I thought that worked out pretty well for him. He got to finish out what he wanted to do, and you know, during that, you know, while that was going on, old Lieutenant Colonel Dina was getting like the hammer dropped on her, so I think she was trying just to get the fuck out of there without, you know, causing up any more ruckus. I mean, I like, in regards to Lieutenant Colonel Dana, all she had to do was show up to the 414 and just keep everything running as it was, and she would have got a Go Max on her OER, and they would have basically had a brass band for her ass when she fucking, you know, left. But, you know, there was some crazy fucking shit going on, and I think the NCO that got in trouble basically got a pass because this other NCO that Dina like took a liking to, I think maybe she was boning him, he had a very similar situation and nobody did anything about it. So I think if she tried to nuke this other guy, that would have been, the other NCOs would have come forward and said, hey, this is bullshit, this other guy, and then it would just been fucking ugly. So in that instance, I think Dina did this, you know, she played the smart move and decided to shut the fuck up about the whole thing. You know, I myself, you know, I don't know, maybe you know, to be honest with you, I would have done the same thing. I'd have done the same fucking thing. You know, I'm not about, you know, burning a dude to the fucking ground for some stupid bullshit or making like one mistake, or, you know, I got it. You know, I've gone after some motherfuckers for, you know, some very unprofessional fucking conduct, to the point of you know, risking people's lives and equipment and stuff like that. Like, I'm not a big proponent of drinking and driving, But I do think that some of the shit they do to those guys, especially first offenders, fucking a little fucking egregious. Not to mention, we've seen like the legal limit come all the way down to the point where it's like 2 beers and you're fucking done. Yeah, it's crazy. They're worried about that, but they're basically legalizing recreational marijuana. I don't know. That's just me though, but that's the get out of jail fucking. Oh, well, there's another one where I got the call to come do a hot extraction from one of my soldiers down in, I wasn't down anywhere, it was in, right outside Eastern, actually it was Michigan State, which is near Eastern, and I believe it's near Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti. Ypsilanti is just a huge, back then, it probably still is a huge drug den of scum and villainy. We're talking, meth heads, heroin addicts, pill junkies, coke heads, and that's just the regular riff-raff, and that's not even including the whole college culture that fucking is existing. Well, this particular guy, went to a frat house for a big shindig party and was drinking. Decided that it would be a good idea to start hitting on women there, which I really don't see a problem with that. You're between 20 and 25 years old. You are in a college town. You're in a frat house drinking and hitting on women. It's pretty much par for the course. Except he fucked up. He wasn't a member of this frat. And apparently, there's some kind of territorial thing that goes on, that you can't do that, and blah, blah, blah. And they decide they're going to fucking kick his ass. And they beat on him, quite profusely. He gets out of the house, takes off, winds up, I don't remember the name of the bar today, but winds up in one of the bars that's like 2 blocks away. Calls me on the phone. It says, hey, I just got my ass fucking kicked. These guys are not fucking around. I think they're going to come fucking kill me. Can you please get me? It's like 12:45 at night. It's going to take me a minimum of 40 minutes to get there, driving at between 80 and 90 miles an hour. Well, luckily I drive a cop car. I have the cop chip in it. Fucking boom. I roll out there. Fucking take off. And I remember when I got there, I roll into the parking lot, and my soldier's standing in the door of the bar. The bouncers are behind him, basically, telling me, leave the premises. And there's like 6 dudes in the parking lot that are basically there to fuck him up even more. He's bloody and beat up. What are you going to do? I get out. I have my Sig Sauer 226 9mm. And I walk through these 6 guys into the bar. I, basically check on my soldier, make sure he's okay. Look him in the eye. He doesn't have any blown pupils. It's just all superficial. He's got a split lip, bleeding, kind of heavily out of one nostril, which he jammed some paper in. He had a laceration over the eye, but it wasn't deep enough to need stitches. And literally, I'm standing there, and this guy reaches over my shoulder and grabs my guy, and I remember I knock his hand away, I turn around, and they're like, who the fuck do you think you are? I pull out the pistol and I point it right at the dude's balls, and I go, I'll tell you who the fuck I am. I'm the guy who's gonna turn you into a motherfucking eunuch. This shit ends right fucking now. Get the fuck away from me. They're like, oh, and they're telling this guy, oh yeah, you gotta call your buddy with the gun, and I'm like, listen, motherfucker, I don't know what he told you, but I'm a fucking Green Beret. All right, I've done 3 wars. if I want, I fucking smoke all 6 of you guys. It'd take me like 2 seconds. Now, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I don't care. He's coming with me, and you're leaving. Cross the fucking street right now. And so they're like, hey, fuck you. Like, we got your number. We're gonna fucking kick your ass. And I'm like, whatever. You can kick his ass another day, but not today, because right now he's under my fucking care. Get him in the car. I said, hey, let's roll you to the hospital. You know, he's like, nah, I'm fine, you know. You know, I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. Put my gun back in the glove box. I have a concealed weapons permit, so it's not like I'm carrying it illegally. Weapon is legally registered. And, you know, that's about it. Now, I did get a call from, I believe, what was it? I think it was the Ypsilanti PD in regards to this particular incident. Luckily, one of my soldiers at the time actually worked for the Ypsilanti PD. I let him know the deal and what happened. And after I told him that, the whole thing just fucking went away. All right, and this is another story here. All right, we got 21 minutes. All right. This particular one, again, it's like 11 o'clock at night. I get a call. Now, I'm getting a call from the mother of one of my soldiers, and she tells me that her son is having this huge domestic with his living girlfriend, and it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly quick. I'm like, holy fuck. Pull up my alert roster, I get his address, type it in my GPS, jump in my car, boom. Now, I roll in there like literally the same time the cops get there. And I remember I'm walking up to the door and the cops are with me, and I'm like, hey, I pull up my ID. I'm like, hey, my name is Sergeant First Class Popp. I'm getting my soldier out of here. I'm taking him out of here right now because this doesn't need to get fucking crazy. And I could tell these guys are like, they kind of went, okay, all right. You know, he doesn't have any warrants for his arrest. There's nothing, you know, there hasn't been any claims of any assault and battery or anything like that. So just get him the fuck out of here. I'm like, okay. So I go up there, and he was shocked as shit to see me. And I remember I walked through the door, and I'm like, hey, come with me. And he had a few drinks. He's run his mouth. And I'm like, hey, shut the fuck up. Add the fuckies. I don't want to hear your soup coolers fucking flapping together. So why don't you just shut your dick insertion device and get the fuck behind me and let's get the fuck out of here. And she's just fucking yelling her head off, just going fucking psycho. And this is where she fucked up. Because I put him in front of me and I'm walking out the door. And just as I'm walking out the door, I mean, he's already cleared the apartment in the into the hallway. I'm going through the door and there's a cop standing right there. She throws a glass bottle at me. It goes over my shoulder and smashes on the wall. I turn to the cop and I'm like, does anything more need to be said? And like, no, Sergeant, you just get your soldier out of here, we'll handle it. I fucking got his ass out of there, threw him in my car, and we rolled out of there. I let him sleep on my couch till the next day. Apparently she got cuffed and stuffed. And while she was, you know, in the county, he got all her shit moved out of the fucking apartment and dropped it off at her fucking mother's house. She wasn't on the lease. And that was, you know, the end of crazy bitch number 1. He had a few other ones after that, which I refused to get involved with. Because after that one happened, I basically said, I'm not doing this again. You know, I understand. You know, crazy pussy is the best pussy there is, but you know, when the pussy wears out, all that's left is crazy. And, you know, pussy is the velvet blender. It's great in the beginning and until you get down to the blades, and then it gets real fast. Yeah, good old times, man. Good old times. Anyway, that's me. I'll talk to you guys later.